I like to provide for my children just like a mother and father like to provide for their children. A good example is when a mother and father get that Christmas list, or their children just watch that television commercial for that Barbie doll or that G.I. Joe action figure, and it's $10 of not even a pound of plastic, half a pound of plastic, and they want it so bad they give the puppy dog eyes. Please, Daddy, please, Mommy, I want it. And the mom and dad love their child so much. They know they're not going to need it 10 years from now. They know they're not going to keep it. They may even forget about it tomorrow after you buy it. Throw it away and say, I want something new. Yet you still get it for them. This is the same way with Jesus. He gives to us because he loves us. But sometimes we ask for things that will be a detriment to our eternal life. And Jesus, out of his love, says, no! You're not getting the message. I'm not going to provide this for you. Because if I provide it, you'll ask for it again and again and again, and you won't come to me wanting to learn of me, wanting to commune with me, wanting to learn from me, wanting to be closer to me so we can be together forever. You're just treating me like Santa Claus. You're treating me like a genie. But instead of 3 wishes, you want 4,000 wishes. Are you following Jesus for the provision? Now, if you read further, Jesus says, listen, your ancestors ate manna in the wilderness, and not one of them is alive today. I could provide you food daily, and yet you'll still die. My Father has given you the living bread, the living water. And once you eat of this, you'll never go hungry. You'll never go thirsty. And you will live forever. Now, these disciples turn to each other and they say, is he asking us to be a cannibal? I thought we were not allowed to eat any unclean meat, especially another person. And you read that in verse 52. At that the Jews argued among themselves, how can this man give us his flesh to eat? So Jesus said to them, I assure you, unless you eat the flesh of the Son of Man and drink his blood, you do not have life in yourselves. Anyone who eats my flesh and drinks my blood has eternal life, and I will raise him up on the last day. Because my flesh is real food, and my blood is real drink. The one who eats my flesh and drinks my blood lives in me, and I in him. Are you following Jesus for the provision? You see, the problem with following Jesus for the provision is once those things pass away, once there's a hiccup in your life, and those things go away, and there's a tribulation in your life, you say, I don't need to follow Jesus anymore. He's not providing for me anymore. You went to that prosperity church, and you prayed, and you got a car, but now that car is broken down. There's no need for me to go to church anymore. There's no need for me to pray anymore. I prayed for a relationship, and I got a relationship, but now that relationship has gone sour. But Jesus says, the real provision you need to be looking for is having me live inside of you. Having me live inside your heart. Because this will be the way I can start to change you, and you won't worry about all these little things. You won't worry about where your food comes from. You won't worry about getting a car, because I will provide those things for you. Don't worry. It won't be as shiny as you wanted. It won't be as perfect as you wanted. But don't worry. I got a place ready for you that is perfect. Lastly, the pride. Are you following Jesus for your pride? Going to church makes you look better than others. You can puff out your chest and say, I'm not like you heathens, I go to church. Or even more importantly, I go to that church where the professional singers sing for choir. I live in Washington, D.C., and I go to the church where President Obama goes. It's funny that I heard on the news that President Obama can't go to church often because he disrupts the services. When they know he's going to that church, the pastor gets 5 million calls a day, and it goes something like this. Excuse me, Pastor. Pastor, excuse me, I had to call. But is President Barack Hussein Obama going to attend service this Sunday? I just wanted to make sure so I could put on my best suit and sit in front row. Is President Obama going to sit in front row? Are you following Jesus for your own pride? For your own vainglory? When you do get that nomination in church, do you use it to say, look at me, look what I can accomplish, rather than let God use me? Are you following Jesus for the sake of your own pride? Now, when I ask these questions, I hope the answer to these is no. Because the reason you should be in church is because you have a relationship with Christ, and you want that relationship to grow. You want to grow more perfect daily as Jesus is perfect. You want to be a better roommate to Jesus. So you want to train yourself so you can live with him forever and ever. I had 3 roommates in college. The first 2 were cool. I liked them very much. I hung out with them. We had discussions. And when it was the weekend, we went our separate ways. But I had a 3rd roommate